Forest Grove Middle School science teacher. So I just want to share briefly some of Mr. Brown's achievements include working with the new U.S. Navy on 12 different submarines, as well as helping launch a few rockets from submarines at Cape Canaveral in Florida. That's the first. I'm only going to tell you a few. There's a lot of them. Second, receiving a Naval Achievement Award, which is actually the highest non-combat naval achievement award that the Navy gives, for inventing the mapping system that actually charts out the Atlantic Ocean floor. I kid you not. He's our science teacher, so pretty amazing. He also directed a naval planetarium, and then later in his career, the Alice G. Wallace Planetarium in Pittsburgh. And the last amazing detail here is he was hired by Paramount Studios to actually assist in creating the soundtrack for that fabulous movie, The Hunt for Red October. All right? Paramount received an Academy Award, and I am sure it was in part for the amazing soundtrack that you probably all recall, one of my favorite movies. And now for some description for the real reason that Don Brown is receiving an award this evening. So, according to Forest Grove Principal Mark Williams, who nominated Don Brown, he said, "The content matter found in the textbooks is not enough for Mr. Brown. He finds a wide variety of ways to incorporate hands-on activities into his classes, and he lets his students become scientists with him." Yes, with him. He's a scientist, and they become scientists too. Don is responsible for teaching 5 sections of 8th grade science, but he does a gazillion more things to make science truly come alive for his students. Among many of his extracurricular activities, he is the advisor of the robotics team, as you mentioned. Literally an award-winning team that has won several recognition awards, including the Innovate Award, the Amaze Award, and the Judges Award. So when I met Don after one of his classes earlier in March, I was really surprised. I came at the appointed time and I walked into the middle of a robotics team meeting. So I decided to use it as a unique opportunity to chat with Don, but also to chat with some of the students about their teacher. So I found it very fascinating that there were 2 students, they're a little older than the rest. They were 2 Doherty High School students, and they were assisting Don and the robotics team. So one was a senior named Joe, and then there was a sophomore named Lynn. And it seems that the interest level in exceptional robotics work does not simply end because the student moves on to high school. One of the robotics team members named Nabil, he told me, "I like the stories Mr. Brown tells in class about his experience in submarines. He converts his stories into exactly what we are learning right now." And then according to Chao Tran, he said, "He is really fun in class and he makes us want to learn. He is the best science teacher ever." So, you may find Mr. Brown and one of his classes walking through this path that he actually created between the Forest Grove School and Indian Lake for the purpose of collecting water samples to test in the lab. That would not be unusual, so don't be surprised. So what I found that this remarkable educator does every day is he really makes it real for his students and for the members of the after-school clubs, bringing his big real-life experiences to our students and actually showing them that anything is possible in their world. And lastly, before we invite Don to accept his award, I would like to say that in addition to the students that love you and are impressed with everything you do, that your wife Betty, your children, your grandchildren, who are many of them here today, are very proud of you as well. So for me, it is a great